I'm Zach Shipley. Welcome to, I guess, the second episode of the KW Geeks podcast, and the first one we're recording in 2025. The one you may have seen previously was kind of a pilot episode I threw together with a friend of mine, and really we're not that far off from going into episode 2 here. So I've got another friend of mine, Elizabeth, who's a KW agent in Dallas, Texas area, and we're just going to talk about what makes her geek self tick. How are you doing today, Elizabeth?
I'm good. I'm excited.
All right, awesome. So we'll take a couple seconds to go through your life story, so to speak. Did you grow up in Dallas? Where are you from originally?
Born in Mexico, grew up in Los Angeles until I was 12, and Dallas since then, and I'm almost 40 now, so been in Dallas a long time.
Oh wow, yeah. Well, so you went to college there, went to school there?
Yep, I went to Texas Women's University. That was close by up in Denton over here. Business degree, but we're in real estate now, so it doesn't really matter. Although it is helpful. I did minor in marketing, and that does come in handy sometimes.
You know, it's funny. Almost no one I know got into real estate in a young age. It's always like the second or third or fourth career.
Yeah.
I'm no different from you in that regard. I went to broadcasting school, so realistically, this is what I should have been doing. Talking to people on a microphone.
Yeah.
All day long.
I thought I wanted to be a magazine editor.
Yeah.
But my stepdad wouldn't pay for journalism school. He was honestly smart. He was like, paper media is dying. Don't go into that. I'm not paying for you to go to school. So I'm like, well, actually, that was probably smart. There's not many magazines anymore.
Oh, I mean, I'm not far off. So I went to broadcasting school. This was 2001. And within 2 or 3 years, people stopped listening to the radio and everybody had iPods.
Yeah.
And then a couple of years after that, you had everybody had iPhones.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of years after that, everybody's streaming music. It's I don't want to say nobody listens to radio, because certainly, so full disclosure, my team just did a big ad buy.
So you hope people listen to radio.
Well, it's Radio Milwaukee, which is a nonprofit NPR affiliate.
Yeah.
So it's a music station. So if you're in Milwaukee, or if you want to go to radiomilwaukee.org, I encourage you to listen to it. It's a great music station. And we've been involved with them for years as an underwriter, but we're now sponsoring 3 days a week,
cool.
Which is going to be huge. But yeah, that's just, again, my background. So when you got out of school, okay, you didn't edit a magazine. Did you manage business? Did you do anything with your degree right away?
So I graduated in 2009.
Mm-hmm.
So the job market wasn't awesome. So I didn't even honestly really try to get what I call a big girl job right after college. But whenever I was in college, I worked at the Apple Store. So I started working at the Apple Store September 2007. A little thing called the iPhone had come out in June.
There you go.
So we were plenty busy. It had great benefits, paid well for a retail job. I had, a job I really loved. I honestly wasn't really into technology before then. I was actually hired on as lead cashier, which doesn't exist anymore. But that's how I got my foot into the door at the Apple Store, and I ended up working for Apple for 5 years.
Wow.
Because it just didn't make sense to leave that stable job that, it was busy. I mean, it still is busy, obviously, but I mean, I worked there whenever the iPhone 3G came out and all those crazy lines. If you actually Google Apple Store Willow Bend, which doesn't exist anymore, or not Google, put it into YouTube. You see a video of me. I was the person in front of line being no, one more person, stop. So it's just me when I was
working the door.
Working the door. Yeah. Cause I was just, and still probably to this day, but one of my personality traits is that I have a very good, stop face of no, I don't back down. So I was good at being at the door, at those launches, but, it was honestly really fun. I met a lot of people in that job, including people that are my friends still to this day, almost 20 years later. They're clients now as well. All of us kind of grew up, but that was a really blessing to have that job, because I didn't get a big girl job until 2012, I think, or 2011, something like that. and I didn't last long in corporate America, but
Mhm.
yeah, that was really like my first taste of customer service and all that sort of stuff. I learned a lot of stuff from the Apple Store.
That's awesome. Yeah. All right. I'm going to ask the question that probably people listening or watching have been thinking, like, did they give you any Apple stock? Do you have any like you're holding on to?
So when I started in 2007,
Mhm.
I was full time, so I was allowed to buy Apple stock. Do you want to guess how much I got Apple stock for in 2007?
Oh, I'm going to guess it was maybe less than $100 or maybe right around there.
$74.
74 bucks. Oh my
And
God.
it's split a couple times since then. So I have had to sell some. Like there was certain times, of course, when I was in my
Mhm.
20s making bad decisions that I was just like, I'm going to sell one share, and I got $600 because I want to go to a concert or something dumb. But it is what it is. But yes, I still have some, and I just don't look at it. I just leave it in an account to grow, and my hopefully we'll never have to touch it again. But it's quite nice to have it there.
Probably for the best. Yeah. If you don't have to do anything to it. Apple is a company that I think is probably just not going to go away.
Yeah, hopefully fingers crossed. But yeah,
Yeah.
that was a very nice benefit. And I didn't know any better. I just maxed out my contributions to it just because I was like, I need it out of my account. As long as it's not in my account, I won't spend it.
Mhm. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so like you said, you obviously worked at Apple Store. That probably gave you a lot of opportunity to. You said you're not like a big geek tech person. Like,
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
what were you into? What were you doing?
So by the time so whenever I started, I said I was lead cashier, and I'd grown to a position called Genius Admin. So there's not that many at the Apple stores even now. The busiest stores have at max maybe 4 of people in this position, and we like support all the geniuses, right? So like we are the ones making the phone calls, being like, hey, your computer's ready to pick up, and we do inventory and that kind of stuff. But the great thing is being at Apple taught me, one, you got a lot of free stuff when you worked for Apple. You didn't get a lot of free Apple stuff, but like reps came in that had like phone cases, for example, and they wanted you at the Apple store to have their phone case on your phone because people came to you and asked you for recommendations, right? So we would get like free phone cases, free software. Apple was really good at giving us free software. So I got like, as a 21-year-old not techie person, I got Final Cut Pro for free, Aperture for free, which RIP Aperture, like all those kinds of things. And while I didn't need them, I was like, I'm given this for free. I'm going to learn it. So I would do all the tutorials. I would do all that stuff. And then there's other software that was being sold at the store, and those reps wanted us to understand it to be able to sell it, obviously. And so I got a bunch of just software for free, and I would sit at my computer and just teach myself how to do stuff because I was like, I'm given this for free. I want to get the most out of everything I'm given. So like your benefits to work, right? You get different benefits at different jobs. This was one of the benefits. So I'm like, I'm not going to squander this opportunity. And it just taught me how to like learn stuff, or really just, even in real estate now, whenever we get like a software, I'm learning that whole thing, right? Because now I'm paying for it, but I'm learning everything that software has to offer. And I think that's a skill I picked up there for sure.
Well, naturally, we talk about being learning based in this all the time. So that's a good skill to have or a habit to build. Just like when you're introduced to something to jump into it all the time. This was during an era where I think like any kind of innovation was just like put a 30-pin iPhone dock connector on it. Like there's an alarm clock, there's a toaster, whatever there was to have iPhone dock on it. So how much of that stuff did they give you? Get a lot
I'm really bad at throwing away technology, honestly. So I have a huge tote bag of just like all my old stuff is in there. I still have my MacBook Pro from I think 2007, my college one, because it technically still works. It just doesn't connects to the internet, but like none of the websites will load anymore because it's just so old. But I just keep all of that stuff. I'm really bad at throwing it away.
Yeah, it's funny how stuff like that it technically still works. It should still be good, but how do you hot rod it to make it work with modern day?
I know.
I don't want to get off on a huge tangent, but I don't know if you're familiar with this electronic arts BT. one of my favorite music producers. If you know anything by him, it's like he produced Pop by NSYNC.
I mean, I know that.
So you know that song exactly. But he's got a lot of other material. But he's obsessed with producing most of his music in OS 9, which like predates your time at Apple, like by like another 10 years. So the other day, like he posted a video on Instagram or whatever that had like, it's like he just showed like this his tower PC where he's like, yeah, I've got an SSD in there, I've got this. He's like, but like the kernel it's still running is Mac OS 9 because it will run this software or run this thing. And I don't want to use any of the newer stuff because the newer stuff doesn't sound as good as this. So he's still producing albums on OS 9, 25-year-old software. That was like my first Mac when I was in high school. Like this was like 97 was OS 9.
Yeah. That's so funny. Yeah.
So when we talk about you are that nerdy realtor.
Yeah, on Instagram,
TikTok. So when you're trying to pick a username there, obviously that one you felt fit you. What makes you the nerdy realtor?
So first of all, even to pick that name was hard because I think before I was just like Elizabeth Realty, like nothing anything crazy. And I took a branding class. And it was like, really just lean into who you are. And I'm in my head, I'm thinking a realtor should fit into this box. I should look like this, should be in a blazer. I should like, look like everybody else. And I was, it just wasn't working for me. And I love social media. I'm a child of social media. I got Instagram like the second it existed kind of thing. But whenever I started real estate, I just created a new account. So you didn't see all the stupid stuff I did in college in my feed. And actually one of my friends, she was big into branding. She's just like, the first thing I think of when I think of you is like nerdy Harry Potter stuff. Cause that's like my first nerdy love is Harry Potter. And she's like, you should just be that nerdy realtor. So that's how it came out of me finally like accepting, or not even accepting, like being like, I think people will like me for me and being a realtor. Yeah. And honestly, it's been so great to like embrace that part of my personality outwardly in business. Cause you're not really taught that, at least you weren't 10 years ago when I started, that you should do things that way. But yeah, my nerdy thing is mostly pop culture stuff. I love Harry Potter. I love Jurassic Park. I love Pokemon Go. I've been a true Pokemon Go playing gal for the last 9 years.
Wow.
Disney. I grew up in Anaheim, California. That's where I went to elementary school. So like Disney fireworks every night at 9 p.m. All that kind of stuff. So definitely big into pop culture.
You would just see the Disney fireworks just like out your back window?
Yeah, at 9 p.m. every day.
Oh my God.
That was like, you knew it was 9 p.m. But when the fireworks were going off. Yeah.
That's crazy. I guess you didn't have a dog, or the dog got.
No, we did not have dogs. We did not.
Oh, I knew you liked Jurassic Park. I knew you liked dinosaurs because I did wear my dinosaur shirt.
I love it.
I've had this for a minute, but I also had a client who was a paleontologist.
Oh, fun.
So ago. And so like I made sure like I wore this to like her closing.
Yeah, I love it. Love it. Yeah. Jurassic Park was the first non-cartoon movie I ever saw in theaters. It came out when I was 8. It was 1993. And I just fell in love with it. And my little brother was born that year, October. And so like we would just watch like the VHS, or I would watch the VHS all the time because my parents were busy with the baby. So I just watched Jurassic Park all the time.
That's a huge cultural touchstone for basically anybody who's like within 5 years of us.
Yeah.
Because I'm a little bit older than you, so I think I was like 13 when that movie came out. But it was the first movie that I ever saw where I read the book first.
Oh, I didn't read the book until later, but very different. But I loved the book.
I knew the movie was coming. My dad had read the book, so my dad was a big sci-fi paperback guy. So I was always taking stuff off his shelf, and so I read the book, and then it was like one of these things where, and it's been a long time, so I'm not going to pull one of these. Oh, the book was better, but it was one of these things where I was like, oh, in the book this character does that, and this in the book this like I remember
the book is very different. It's way scarier than the movie.
Yeah,
yeah, but it's still it's good. I love Michael Crichton.
Yeah, and
And that's another thing. I'm a nerd. I'm also a book nerd. To not all books, but a lot of books.
Well, that's like, I think it's okay to say you're a book nerd, and you don't need to say like all books. I mean, when sometimes people are like, "Oh, I really like anime." I'm like, "Yeah, that's like there's like a billion shows." Tell me when you. It's like me saying I like comedy. It's like narrow it down.
I just like haven't read a lot of like classical books, so I don't want people to think like I know all the classics. I'm like, no. I read like silly romance novels and fantasy books.
I could definitely relate. So when I was younger, I like ate sci-fi paperbacks and fantasy for breakfast. Like it wasn't uncommon for me to like read 80 pages a day, finish a book in a week, no problem. Even like in like school, like just that would be just something I do. And then for some reason, like something clicked like in the last like 10, 15 years, the only books I can really finish are like more modern books, like something that takes place present day. There's not a lot of fights. I mean, I still love like sci-fi movies and stuff like that. And I don't want to act like I'm like, I'm uncultured. I can't read Dune, but no, I can't read Dune. It's too late. I can't make it through it. It's too thick.
Yeah. And also I think I read a lot now to like escape. And so I just don't want things to be too complicated anymore.
It's so I love that there's this undercurrent of like you're just like wearing your passions on your sleeve and wanting to do as much of that stuff into your like, social media presence as possible. And so you've been licensed with did you start at KW or did you start another broker somewhere else? Or
so in July 2016 is when I got licensed. So my anniversary is this month. I think this is the start of year
10.
Yeah, start of year 10, which is crazy. And yeah, actually Keller Williams the whole time. The office where I'm at is literally 4 minutes from my current house, but it's also like 6 minutes from my apartment that I had 10 years ago. So this is just like in my neighborhood. But I interviewed a bunch of offices and all the big brokerages like the Remaxes, and here we have one called W Halliday and all that sort of stuff. Only KW answered me back my inquiry. Isn't that crazy? Back then. Wow. And they're the only ones that had a brick and mortar back then, and a great training program, which is, I'm very learning based. So I was just like, sign me up, and been here ever since. Same office, same TL the whole time, which is, if anyone's with Keller Williams will know, that's very rare, but I have a great team. So oldest office in DFW. So there's people that have been here over 30 years, lots of people. So it's a good office.
Yeah, it's funny when like we go to like the big KW events, they talk about the company being around for 40 years or 42, 43, something like that now. And all I can think of is like the first, like the KW group that's here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where I work, has only existed for like 8 or 9 years.
Oh,
like
wow.
It's not been that long.
Yeah.
I think there was a franchise or two like prior to that, but but they were like very small. They did like, I think they folded. Like I couldn't even tell you what they did or right or wrong because I don't know anybody involved in it.
Yeah.
Like there's no agents that are left over from that time. So the investor group who opened the first office here, we're now up to like 5 or 6 offices. We're kind of all over the city.
Yeah.
It's been such a huge thing. So I started a different brokerage and it wasn't long before I came here, and that's when things kind of like really opened up for me. And so I got involved in just like, going to these events. And I remember maybe it was 2021 family reunion. Maybe it was earlier than that. I can't remember exactly where I met. I know it was family reunion, but I can't remember what year it was.
Where you met me?
Yeah.
Probably February 2022, unless it was in Orlando.
It might have been Orlando.
But I was, I want to, I think it was 2020.
But I know Dawn met you before then. I think Dawn met you so my wife Dawn also.
Yeah, no, I definitely remember.
Yeah. Dawn met you at one of those Her Best Life or events.
Yeah, in San Antonio. Yeah, I can't remember now. I just remember I met a lot of people. I want to say it's 2023 when we were in Anaheim, maybe if that's the right year, or 2022, whatever. Because I was asked to be a panelist. so at family reunion, which was
Mhm.
huge, and it was all about like networking, and like how we get our business from just events and that kind of stuff. And that's when I talked about I go to board game club. That's where I get a lot of, people. It was very different than everyone else up there that had, more traditional kind of events. And I'm just like, nope, I go to board game club and I go to trivia and I do these things and things that I love doing. And that's how I meet people and grow my business. Even
It's
just last week, I went to board game club, or 2 weeks ago, I went to board game club over 4th of July weekend because I was like, I don't have anything to do. My friends are out of town. I just want to go play board games. And the guy that runs it was like, oh, I've been meaning to talk to you. I think I want to sell my house. I'm like, great. So, yeah, it's just great. I love it.
it's a perfect encapsulation of finding your audience and finding your business through your passions. Because there's a lot of people who would probably say like, oh yeah, go to the Rotary, go to this business meeting, go to the Chamber of Commerce, stuff like that. And yeah, there's some people there, but also like, who's tapping in to board game club? There's no other realtor there.
Yeah.
You're the only one.
And I think it's also great because whenever I'm playing those games, they can see that like I'm good at it. I'm competitive. I'm strategic. Like I think the qualities, they're like, okay, yeah, she'd probably be good at selling my house. She could beat me at this game.
For context, what are the board games you're playing at Board Game Club?
So there's like 1,000 board games there. But my favorite ones are currently, my favorite one is Wingspan. Have you ever played it?
I've not. No, I'm very board game like ignorant. So
okay,
you gotta recommend some stuff.
So I'm like trying to like not bore people that have no idea what it is, but Wingspan is you collect birds. You're trying to build the most valuable aviary, and yeah, so it's if you're into board games, the type of board game style it is resource collecting. Is if you, I'm trying to think of other similar games, but if you don't know any board games,
the thing that comes to my head is like Monopoly. You're going on collecting the properties, and like they're worth more the more you collect.
It's
probably nothing like that, but I'm just like on a very base level.
Very base level. But you're making decisions as opposed to it's less chance based than decision based. But it's really fun and it's a beautiful game as well. So highly recommend checking out Wingspan. But other games, I'm trying to think of ones that you might have heard of, but it's okay. There's just a bunch. I like resource building games. I like worker placement games. There's way different kinds, but these are, if you ever go to a board game store, it's wild in there. There's so many different kinds. But that's been my obsession lately. It's
and it's with pardon me. And with board games, obviously because there's all these applicable skills that you're showing off. So you kind of keep yourself sharp as you're doing it. So I really love that. A while back, you mentioned going to some esports competition in Dallas, and this is a game I'd never heard of.
Which is wild. That's funny.
And so that's it just shows like, there's not one like column you can put all the geeks into. And I think what makes us different is what's interesting. So what is geoguessing?
So funny. So GeoGuessr is a game where you get dropped somewhere on a Google Earth map. So Google Earth has mapped a lot of the world, right? And these maps are readily available for everyone. So someone made a game where they can drop you in, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, or wherever it is. You get a pin drop and you have to guess where you are. So you can go through the map. So let's say they drop you in front of your house, and to think about how long will it take you to walk around your town to figure out where you are. Even so, if I were to you get dropped in Dallas, what would you have to see to realize, oh, I'm in Dallas, Texas? Yeah. Us as normal people, I'm horrible at that game. I love watching people play, but I myself, I'm like, I have no idea where I am. But these guys, mostly guys, I actually don't know if there was any girls that were in the finals, but they have played so much of this game. They know so many details of how the maps work and stuff, and they can find where they are in the whole world in like less than a minute. And so this competition that I went to is the North American Finals. So we were seeing it live. This is so nerdy, but this is what it is. This is KWYP Geeks. So I'm allowed to be super nerdy. And how the game works in competition form is it's head to head. So 2 people against each other. They both get dropped in the same place. In round 1, you have access to move around. So they'll move around, try to see where they are. And what they're looking for is really interesting. So like these guys being experts in this game, they know what the street signs look like, what the light poles look like, how the streets are painted. They'll automatically like look down to see what kind of car, like the Google car is it. So they know if it's a certain kind of color car, that it's a certain region of the world. It's like they like look for so many clues, like the flora, the fauna, like especially of course the language. Like a lot of them have taught themselves how to read certain signs. Like if they're in Thailand, they've taught themselves Thai enough to read a street sign and know where they are in Thailand. It is wild. And so in the first rounds of the game, they can move around. And how it works is they'll both select like, okay, here's where I think I am. And let's say it's 500 feet from the actual thing, or a mile away. One is a mile away, one is 2 miles away from the actual spot. Then the one that was further away gets like hit points. So it'll be like one hit point because he was 1 mile a difference from the other person. So the further you are away, like one person's 200 miles away, one person's 500 miles, they will get 300 miles worth of hit points, right? And so they have a certain life. And I'm so sorry if this isn't interesting to people. I'm trying to explain it. It's so fun to watch though.
Yep, they're skipping ahead if they're not interested, and if they are interested, they're like rewinding to hear what you're saying again.
Yeah. So that's like one of the rounds, and then it moves to get harder. So then so in round 1 you were moving around. In round 2 you can only pan. So if you're or maybe round 3, you're in one spot and all you can do is move around. You can't walk anywhere. And then you have to make a decision on where you think you are in the whole world based on that. And then the last rounds, you can only zoom in and out. You can't even pan. But sometimes you don't even get to the last round because again, like the hit points, there's also like multipliers. So the more rounds you get in, the more multipliers go in. So if you're 1,000 feet, like miles away, and there's a 3.5 multiplier, you just lost 3,500 points out of your 5,000 life. But anyway, it's riveting. And because they're also moving so fast. And on a head-to-head competition, they have a minute, but once one player locks in, the other player only has 15 seconds to lock in. So it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. Sometimes the strategy is to lock in as quickly as possible and hope the other person makes a mistake so that their hit points go down.
I can see like why this would be so hard. Because like you said, like, well, what if you get dropped in your own neighborhood? How long would it take me? It's like I walked down a street that I don't normally go down the other day, and I went like, I don't know any of these houses. Like
exactly.
If it weren't for the fact that like intellectually I know my house is a block that way, I would get lost in my own neighborhood.
Yeah. And we started playing back in 2020 during the pandemic. One of my friends, we would like go on Discord or Zoom and just kind of play together, like not in a competition, but just try to figure out where we were. And it'd be so fun when we could figure it out. So there was like one time we were dropped somewhere and I was like, all these people look Asian, but the signage that we're seeing is all like looks more Russian, but we're in like a big city and we're like, are we in Mongolia? Are we in Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia? And that's what we put, like Ulaanbaatar, and we were there and we felt like we were invincible, that we figured out we were in Mongolia from like context clues. So when you get it, it's so fun. But that took us probably like half an hour, honestly, like just from not knowing anything, but it was really fun. And yeah, I actually don't know if the World Championships have happened yet. Last month was the European World Finals, which I also watched on YouTube. But you should get into it. It's fun.
Yeah, amazing. Just a second here. Drinks. Mhm. Of course, we're getting texts from clients. No, you can wait. Um, what's the weather in Dallas like right now? Now I feel like I'm speaking small talk.
Yeah, I was like, today it's high of 93. It's not bad. This month has been weirdly not super hot, but it's also been like thunderstormy. So I'm afraid for August. I hope it's not crazy hot because it's been actually really nice this July.
We've been unseasonably warm lately, and unfortunately, like storms. Like I there's a tornado watch tonight. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've actually had to take cover, but that's the Midwest for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so we learned a little bit about your favorite stuff. Like you mentioned Harry Potter, your Jurassic Park. You know, you've got like your favorite geeky interests. So let's say you can just reach into one of these things and just pull something out. What item are you pulling forward from one of your favorite movies or video games or something like that?
So you asked me this question and I was like, what would I do? And I crowdsourced my answer. I will say from my D&D group, I was like, help me. I don't know what I would choose. And then someone said something. And I was like, oh, how could I have not thought of that? Of course, I'm picking this item. And it is a time turner in the Harry Potter world. You could just go back in time and like get more time back. I'm like, oh my gosh, if I need a nap, just time turner, take a nap. So 100% the time turner.
It's funny. I bet you if I ask like 100 people, like I'm gonna get like some variation of time travel like every single time. Even my example I gave to you, it said like, oh yeah, I get the DeLorean because that way I can fly over the traffic and like never be late for an appointment. I was 5 minutes late for this. I'm chronically late. I've got time blindness in the worst way.
Yeah, I need more time. I want more time, even if it's just more time to like play The Sims. Another one of my nerd things. To play The Sims for a couple hours a day would be great.
So when you're when you're scrolling as the nerdy realtor, you're going through that account or maybe another one, you're on Instagram, you're on TikTok, YouTube, whatever. Aside from like your subscriptions and follows, what's your algorithm feeding you? Like what are you seeing lately that like it's like, oh, I'm getting all blank?
So there's two things. One, there's a new Jurassic Park movie out. The algorithm very much knows that I like Jurassic Park and have for a long time. So I'm just getting all the merch, which I'm not mad about, all the new merch that's hitting stores worldwide. And then the newest thing to my algorithm and my newest obsession is K-pop Demon Hunters. Have you seen it?
I've not seen it. The guy who cuts my hair was raving about it, and he was the one to tell me about it. I'm like, okay, I'm going to take your word for it because like
you got to watch it. Watch it with the whole family. It's so good. What I keep telling people is it's like Pixar meets the Powerpuff Girls.
Is it animated?
Animated and and it's like K-pop, right? So like
I heard the soundtrack's amazing. So
yeah, and it's not. I don't know if I guess it's considered anime from like the style, but it's like a 3D animation, right? Not 2D animation. And it's wonderful. Yeah, the songs are great. It is visually be so stunning. Love it. So tell Dawn and your kids that you're watching K-pop Demon Hunters this weekend because it's so good. So I just keep seeing people doing the dances. One of my girlfriends is really into it too. So we just keep sending each other different videos that like different reels. So that's probably why it's giving me more and more. She bought me a shirt today. It's like a Taylor Swift like Eras tour, but with Huntrix, the band from the movie on it. We like bought those today. So yeah, we're very much influenced by the algorithm.
It makes me wonder if like Netflix is just going to green light like 3 or 4 sequels to this thing.
They better. It was so good.
Yeah, because like I had never heard of this until again, like the guy who cuts my hair told me about it, and then it was like that was a week ago, and now I've heard about it or I've been suggested to it like every single day since then. So I'm gonna have to watch it.
Yeah, you're gonna have to watch it. It's so good. It's great.
As far as your your career and interests, etc., are right now, what's next? Like what's your next plateau? I mean, I assume we haven't talked about your business at all. We're just going to assume it's fine, right?
Yeah,
You're doing
it's
good.
good.
You're gonna
Yeah, like I said, starting year 10, so hopefully I'm
Mhm.
doing something right. My next step is probably business goals wise. I sell about 30 to 35 houses a year, and I don't really want to sell a lot more because it's a lot of work, right?
Yeah.
But I would love to increase my price point. So that's kind of where I'm trying to learn more about the luxury space and stuff. I'm almost 100% referral based though. So I can't control a lot of like what people send me, and I don't want to stop servicing that business. So it's just trying to find a good balance there. I got a great opportunity recently. One of my past clients has offered me the opportunity to help him sell his rental portfolio, which I've never done.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I literally just got that call yesterday. So before this, I was looking at a bunch of tax records and making spreadsheets for several properties to try and get their values and stuff, which I've never done before. So that'll be exciting and fun. But yeah, for work wise, and that's pretty much it. I know it's like a weird time in real estate for a lot of people. Thankfully, back in 2023, I think is when the rates started going up. It's been almost 2 years. This is not new for everybody, but back then I terminated about $100,000 like worth of business, like in my pocket worth of business.
Oh, wow.
In like
You're talking
90 days.
GCI, not like the $100,000 houses for sale. Like,
No, it's like paychecks gone. So which obviously sucked, but I had a showing agent at the time, and me and him were just like, well, we have no excuse but to lead gen all of Q1 because we have no business right now. We have nothing stopping us, or the rest of Q4. And so Q1 actually ended up being one of the best Q1s either one of us had ever had. But we have since then, we do, like for me, I do 1,000 contacts a quarter, and any quarter that I don't do that, the next quarter always suffers. And it just kind of is what it is right now. You have to do more activities to get the same amount of stuff sold. So that's where my mentality just has been for the last 2 years. Just keep making 1,000 contacts a quarter and you'll be okay. So I'm also kind of in like maintenance mode, right? Like it is, I don't want to not do, like take on something new at the expense of that goal to make sure that we can like pay the bills and do all that sort of stuff.
what constitutes contact, and how do you divide that? Because I've heard 10 calls a day, 20 calls a day, 100 a week or something like that, but 1,000 a quarter is like, it's huge. You break it up into quarters so that you give yourself, if I want to take a week off, it's fine.
Yeah, kind of. So I'll show you. When I do my planning, I think I just had it up here. I literally have like a calendar, and I cross out the days that I'm not working. But for example, in September, I'm going on a wedding and I have 15 working days. So I can't do the 20 contacts a day, 100 contacts a week that month because I only have 15 working days that whole month. So I like to do the quarter because in July, I have a lot more time than I will in September. So whenever I break it down by the day, it was about 22 contacts a day I had to make because I kind of took the first 3 weeks first 2 weeks of July off of lead gen for other reasons. Just June was great. I needed a break. So I just took a break. I'm like, okay, I'm going to start lead genning mid-July. So I had it just helps me be more clear on what my time actually looks like. So that's why I like 1,000 a quarter as opposed to 20 contacts a day, because I can't make 20 contacts a day, but I may be able to make 50 contacts one day and make up for it kind of thing.
It makes more sense because if your goal is 20 contacts a day, then you get 18, you'll feel like you failed instead of thinking to yourself oh yeah, I'll get 18 today and I'll have 22 tomorrow or 10 the next day. It'll even out.
Yeah.
So when you're making contacts, and again, I know we're getting into the nuts and bolts of it. You're really sphere based. So this is you're calling your database people or people whose contact information you've talked to before. You're not cold calling the phone book.
No, not normally. Yeah, so my goal is one of three things, and it's not anything I made up. These are all things that exist in classes we've taken, right? You either want to set an appointment. So sometimes I am calling like a referral someone sent me. So that's an easy contact of just be like, great, when do you want to set the appointment? 2 is asking for the referral. So that's what a lot of the times, that's what the sphere calls are like. I was like, hey, do you know anyone else I can help? I'm looking to help X more families, this year, blah, blah, blah. Or number 3 is just rapport. So it's appointment, referral, rapport. So sometimes it's just having them remember that you are a real estate agent so that when they know of someone that needs to buy a home, that you're top of mind. So that's why I love social media. I do a lot of real estate on my social media, but I also do kind of like fun, silly things and things that show off my personality, because that's what keeps you in people's minds. And you kind of forget that a lot of people are watching you. I went to a friend's 40th birthday on Saturday, and her cousin came, and her cousin doesn't live in Dallas. She hasn't ever lived in Dallas. She lives in Houston. I've never really contacted her for real estate. We've known each other since we were young. Like this, my friend that turned 40, I've known her since middle school. So we've just always been friendly. And she and I posted something about new construction last week. And it was probably the first time I've talked to her in years, literal years, face to face, because she was just there for her 40th birthday. And I probably saw her at her wedding last time, which was several years ago. And she's just like, I love your real estate videos. I saw your new construction post last week. I'm like, oh, holy crap. Like that's like a lot more people than you think are watching those.
Yeah.
And so like, that's the first thing she said to me. It was like, hey, how are you? She's like, I love your real estate videos. So even if they're not posting, they are watching you. And so just post something fun, educational. So I'm trying to get back to doing more of that, because I go through seasons of just getting busy and it doesn't get done, but it's super fun. And that really helps. Just stay top of mind. So it doesn't have to be like, do you want to buy or sell a house today? It's like, hey, I'm here. Here's what I'm doing. Just remember me for when you need me.
Yeah. And I remember this is probably one of a million videos where you might remember this. I remember you did like a walkthrough of Buc-ee's one time.
Yeah.
Now, I think they're going to put one in Wisconsin sometime in the next year or so. But like, I don't know what Buc-ee's. We got Quick Trip here. It's fine.
Yeah. Oh no.
but there's everybody has their regional gas stations, etc.
Yeah.
You just did this through. It's like, well, this is clearly a big deal where you're at, and it is a taste of the area in a real way. Sometimes people do walkthroughs of luxury houses, and that's cool. It's fun to watch. Sometimes people talk about the nicest restaurants, and that's cool too. But like, I have a feeling if you live in your area, you're probably going to Buc-ee's at least once or twice a week.
And what's fun is that now, like what the things I post, like I'll post, Buc-ee's stuff, dinosaurs, Harry Potter, whatever. People now send them to me. Like you probably have done that, where you've sent me a like, because you think of me when you think of these things. So I'm just like, yes, I have, mind share. Like you're thinking of me when you think of like this fun thing. And so yes. You know what's so funny? That video, like so many people have commented, and it was just a silly video. And it was a true feeling I get whenever I see Cherry Coke on draft. I'm just like, oh, this is going to be a good day. Cause I don't drink soda. I don't. And it's not like anything wrong with it. I just don't really like bottled soda. I only like fountain Cherry Coke. That's it.
That's funny.
And I will drink a canned Cherry Coke, but really like, that's the only soda I like. So when I saw it that day, I think it was at In-N-Out, which I had oddly for lunch today. I was just like, oh, I had heard that song on TikTok or something that like, it was a little trend. I'm like, oh, I'm going to do it with Cherry Coke. And it literally took 30 seconds. And I think I posted it before I even got my food, didn't think about it. And then like my director of operations, like brought Cherry Coke the next time we had a team meeting. She's like, oh, this is for you. So fun. But yeah, you never know. And you might have, fun with people. Or like I have like a little Mudang tattoo right here. It's the little hippo.
I was going to ask you, like, what are the tattoos?
This was a little
goat. It's literally Mudang.
Mudang, who just celebrated her first birthday. So sometimes people see that and they're like, oh, Mudang. I'm like, yep. Clients. I had a client see that because it was like a Sunday. It was hot here. I was sleeveless. I don't think about it. I don't mind people seeing my tattoos. He was just like, is that Mudang? And like, we connected even more because he also liked Mudang. So you just never know what people are going to connect with. But yeah, I also have Pikachu. I love Toy Story. So I have a Toy Story like alien, like one of these guys tattooed
cool.
also, which I have a bunch of Toy Story stuff. That's another Disney thing I love. Yeah. And travel. I love travel. That's like less nerdy. But I post a lot about that stuff too.
Well, you wear your passions on your sleeve, and
literally,
or
yeah, I
under
know.
them, as the case may be. I've got the Autobot logo on this arm, and I forget about it until like I was at like I had to get the oil change in one of our cars, and then like the guy comes over and he's like, he just starts talking Transformers to me. And like his kid's super into it. I'm like, oh, it's incredible. So we talked for like 20 minutes, and eventually he had to finish the oil change so I could go.
And that's how in real estate stuff, that's how I meet a lot of people. Like if they are on the nerdier side of stuff, they're normally more introverted, which I'm not. I'm an extroverted nerd, but they feel more confident coming up to you because you're like, I like board games too. Or do you want to be my friend on Pokemon Go? And it's like, heck yeah. There was one time I was at I think it was Mega Camp, and I was playing Pokemon Go before the vision speech. So it was like a dark room, how many people are in that room? Thousands of people in that room playing. And then a person sits next to me, looks at me and goes, we're about to be friends. I'm like, who is this random stranger? And she turns her phone over and she's also playing Pokemon Go. And we became, friends. And that her name's Vanessa. And, we've been friends ever since. So it's, you never know where you're going to meet friends or real estate friends.
Yeah. We're not on an island here. We're not alone. So like, I think there's especially growing up, there was like this mentality around, nerds are lonely, or that they're like, they don't have friends. They're not popular. It's like, that has really turned around last few years. Like, aside from the fact that all the geeky stuff is like the most popular stuff in pop culture now.
Yeah.
It's just like, I feel like, every single person I know, like the coolest people I know, and I'm not saying like just because I think they're cool or this or whatever. It's like, oh yeah, they play Dungeons and Dragons on.
I just started playing D&D this year, and it's been fun. Yeah. No, it's for me, a nerd is someone, or a geek, someone who unapologetically loves something.
Yeah. Like,
doesn't matter what it is. If you just like really love it, if you can talk about it for a long time, if it brings you joy, like you're a nerd for it. And it could be so many things.
Yeah. And that's kind of where the podcast came from. It's like, oh, can we speak unprompted for 50 minutes about something? Yes, we can.
Yeah, so absolutely. No problem.
Right. Well, I appreciate you taking time out of your day.
Yeah.
Looking forward to seeing you again next month at KW Mega Camp in San Antonio. And we'll be posting this to the KW Geeks group. Since this is like kind of like the first like real recorded thing since I decided to start doing this, I don't have a sign off yet.
Okay.
Linktree / KW Geeks, or just type KW Geeks in the Google. I'm sure there can't be another KW Geeks. We're on Spotify, we're on YouTube, we're on Apple Podcasts, amongst other places. Give us that 5-star review, like and subscribe. Follow That Nerdy Realtor on TikTok, Instagram. Anywhere else?
Nope, those are the main places. I mean, Facebook, but I'm not super nerdy on there. Right.
You have to control somewhere. Yeah. All right. So I appreciate you giving us the time, Elizabeth. And I look forward to seeing you again soon.
All right. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.